Rushanara.
Thank you. Good morning, Chancellor. You forgot to mention the 55 billion in fiscal consolidation after the mini-budget fiasco, on top of the other costs, the 400 billion and the energy crisis.
I think I did actually, because I said it was £30 billion of spending increases
when you were listing,
and spending
I just
cuts.
thought we'd remind everybody, when you were listing the 400, just to Dame Angela, the 400 billion and the various costs, that's about £1 billion a day, over £1 billion a day in the 49 days in the former Prime Minister's time in office.
But I did mention it, just to be clear. I mentioned it earlier in the session. I talked about that consolidation very clearly.
Okay, and that was as a direct consequence of the mini-budget fiasco under the last Chancellor and Prime Minister. Before we go on to, I wanted to ask you some questions about living standards, but before that I just wanted to pick up on the Sir John Vickers's comments is also on the Edinburgh reforms. In his evidence, he said, in my view, removing ring fencing would pose a very great risk to financial stability. The governor yesterday agreed with that, as did Sam Woods of the PRA. Do you agree with that?
Okay, can I just, sorry, your earlier comment about the £55 billion consolidation being a direct result of the mini-budget, I don't accept that. That was a
Well, you had an emergency budget last November when you became Chancellor, and you apologised to the British public.
I've accepted that mistakes were made in that mini-budget and we reversed them, but I don't accept that the consolidation that we had to make in public finances was as a result of that. It was as a result of underlying factors that we had to address, which is the 400 billion.
Okay, we'll carry on arguing about that outside.
COVID
we'll
support.
take it outside after this session because I've only got a few minutes.
It sounds like a gentleman's club if we're going to take it outside and carry on. But if that's what you wish, Miss Ali, I'm very happy to do so.
I just meant we can continue debating that outside because I've got a few questions. So on ring fencing, very important. Edinburgh reforms, Chancellor. Do you have any plans to remove ring fencing now or indeed any time in the future? Because in the document there was a reference to the possibility of it being removed in the future.
Yes. So we do think that 15 years after the financial crisis, it's the right time to review the ring fencing regime, and we've had a very thorough review being done by Keith Skeoch, and we're going to announce some reforms based on the recommendations that he has made. But we have also been very clear that we will not unlearn the lessons of the financial crisis in 2008, and we will make sure that we build on the fact that, for example, for the first time, our regulators have a responsibility to promote financial stability. That is extremely important, and we will make sure that nothing we do compromises that.
You're not saying a straightforward no to removing. You're saying that. Can you just say yes or no whether you plan to at any point in the future remove ring fencing? Because the governor yesterday said that ring fencing, along with other provisions, is a complementary provision that's very important. And removing it would pose a risk to financial stability. In the document, the Edinburgh Reforms document that Sir John Vickers pointed to, the fact that the government had said that while it is worth retaining ring fencing for now, there might come a day when resolution can do the job instead. That would be the wrong approach. Are you saying that ring fencing will remain, or are you considering resolution doing the job instead?
Well, I apologise for the fact that because we haven't announced exactly what we're going to do yet, I can't tell you now in front of the committee exactly what we're going to do. But what I can tell you is that would you like me to tell you what I can tell you? We are not going to turn the clock back to 2008 and unlearn all the lessons from that.
You're not answering the question, Chancellor, with respect. I'm asking you a specific question about whether you plan to remove ring fencing despite the points that the governor has made, Sir John Vickers has made, and in fact Sir Keith had said as well that would be pose a risk to financial stability. I think that people would want to know, not least because given the recent financial turmoil, that you have no plans to remove ring fencing, that it remains as a complementary provision that the regulators believe that is necessary.
As I've said, we will bring forward our plans shortly. That is not this morning, but we will bring forward our plans shortly, and then we will answer those questions. But the reassurance that I want to give everyone is that we will not do anything that compromises financial stability. We will not unlearn the lessons of the financial crisis, and we won't turn the clock back.
Sure, but you're not providing the reassurance that the governor, the regulators need, that you're not going to be removing ring fencing, which is concerning in my view. Now,
I think I'm reassuring people on
living standards.
Do we have a date for that announcement, Chancellor?
I think we've said in government parlance shortly or soon, or we've used a phrase like that, haven't we, Gwyneth, that we're very good at using in government?
We are. We're certainly, we will consult on the specific skills reforms in the summer, so there will be a paper on that, taking forward those specifics. There's a call for evidence out now on the comparison between ring fencing and resolution, and once we've analysed the responses to that call for evidence, we'll come back on that later this year.
Thank you. Turning to living standards, the OBR conceded that the British families are now facing